Hey everybody, I am at the Deridder Hixson Toyota new construction today, and it looks like they'll be opening soon. But I was chosen to paint a picture for the Hixson's Toyota dealership, representing Mr. and Mrs. Hixson and their cutting horses. And I have to tell you, I was encouraged to record this because there's so much symbolism, and I feel like, I don't know if you're spiritual or ethereal, where you find your higher power, but I don't think I've ever met them, but I've had a real walk with them as a couple, and so people encouraged me to record this because it's pretty spot on. So I want to tell you what I was thinking and feeling when I painted this painting. We'll start with him, and this is a timer. You can tell, this is, if you don't know, this is a cutting horse event. So he had 2.5 seconds in the arena to prove his horse's abilities. And these horses understand. The funny thing is, I also own a horse that has a lot of reining blood, but he was not of this caliber. He didn't make the cut. But anyway, they say it's like riding a cat. They're very fast. They're going to be way ahead of you. It is normal for the rider, you have to hold on to the saddle horn, and you sit very deep in your saddle. If you're a horse person, you know what I mean. And the horse is doing all the work, so their eyes are really on these. I think someone told me they use mainly heifers, and they're 400 to 600 pounds. So there's so much preparation that the Hixsons went in to just get into the arena for this 2.5 seconds of proving their horse's ability. And I put this here on purpose because I wanted people to ask why this is. I want people to be curious about them as a couple, not just being a painting. I wanted people to get to know them. And now that I've painted this, and so many stories are coming out about the good that they did, it was a gift for me to be able to do this, because I think people should know what the Hixsons were about and how much they did in this area. So anyway, go back to 2.5 seconds is the time he had in the arena. 83 was the age he was when he passed. And I wanted this to be a celebration of his life. It's not a sad event. This man, I believe, was dynamic and versatile, intelligent, and so this is a real celebration of his life. Over here, the first thing, I made a road home because I do believe Pine Island is the name of his ranch. And I know home is where his heart really was. It's where his family was. It's where he was raising his horses. He had a ranch there. So this represents Pine Island. This represents the joy that he probably felt pulling in. Maybe, I like to think that after a competition, and he had done well, and I will tell you, he was in the Hall of Fame. He was inducted in 2008 for reining, that his joy was to go home after his successes. The blue represents, I knew he loved the ocean. So I used this bright blue to represent his love of the ocean. And I used metallics in this painting, so this is copper and this is gold, actual oil paint. And so he took copper and turned it to gold. He really developed his business. I know he had this innate business acumen about him. I made his belt silver because I was hoping, if the family or someone that has this painting happens to shine a light just right on this buckle, it's a reference that he's always with you, because that silver is eternal. I put just a little bling on his saddle of turquoise and gold. know he wasn't a bling person, but I wanted that to represent his joy of his horses. If you are a horse person and you walk into a tack room of someone of means that has all their tack lined out, their tack room is clean, it smells of leather, you can tell it's a working ranch, there's a real joy that you get by being around your favorite saddle, favorite leather, just touching it, picking it up. So I used that to represent the feeling he had. And one night, it was about 3 a.m., his nickname was Big. And so I wanted to bring his personality to the canvas. And I was really struggling. I had painted this before, and I had made it a shadow, his image, and I had made a cast that he cast a big shadow. But I really wasn't happy with it. And it was about 3 a.m. and it hit me, and I thought of saddle blankets. So he might not have liked this color, but the color reinforces, his personality, the dynamic of it. Now, this represents something else. This right here, this is a brick pattern. It's the smallest pattern, but I made it the strongest pattern. If you tilt your head to the right, it's his initials. So this is EH, if you look at it from the sideways. I wanted to make it subtle, but I felt like his initials, his signature, he is a Renaissance man. He is a signature man. His signature on anything would be powerful. I also know he was a spiritual man. So what's in this, if this is brick, when I started painting her, to me, she was the canyon. He may be the brick, but she's the canyon. So I made it where if you shine a light at an angle, about a 45-degree angle here, you pick up the metallic. And as you move toward her, so let's just say the light is coming in here, and you have to walk toward her because she's that important of a person in here. So as you look back, this also reinforces the canyon. It gives you that 3D depth. I chose these really bright colors because I can tell she was a force. In fact, I call her a jet. To me, she's just a jet. This starts with a sunrise and it goes into a sunset. But I just can't explain how I felt about her. I read in his obituary that the reason he went out with her is because he had to find out about a woman who would jump out of a perfectly good airplane. So I know she had that adventurous spirit about her. So if you notice he's blue and she's pink, she goes into his world, but he doesn't really come back to her. And she doesn't become totally blue, but her pink evolves to this lavender. And she comes into his life as a whirlwind. And she has I put a little lightning bolt here because I just know she's that person. Sir? And also, I wanted to represent this horse as our money horse. This horse is already ahead of this heifer. She didn't have to worry about this horse. She did ride, the picture I saw, she did ride a paint. And the one word I had about this painting is they wanted abstract. And there's different levels of abstract. And this is just, I felt like my paintbrush was doing the walking and the talking. So there's a little bit of silver here, but she's the silver and the lining. I just felt like she is the glue that held all this together. And a little bit of Pine Island here, a little bit of the forestry here. but yeah, I mean, she's just powerful. I'm trying to, I've lost, there's so much, and I don't want to miss anything, but the one thing, I know Mr. Edley has passed, but my one desire is to get to meet her, because I think, you know, she's that person. Anyway, I'm sure there's more, but that's about, I'm gonna wrap it up here. But I was encouraged by her friends to record this because they said it was so spot on about her. And I hope she gets to see it, and I hope she enjoys the painting. That my joy comes from, it was an honor and a pleasure to get to know them, and I had a real spiritual journey, and hopefully more stories will come out about all the good things they did that people don't even know about.